I baked plenty of bread when my sourdough starter wasn't ready, mostly before it had fully matured. It was really dense and gummy inside. I'll show you how to know when your starter is ready to bake with, and what to do if it isn't. There are two main reasons why your sourdough starter isn't ready. It's not mature enough, or it's not active enough. The two can go hand in hand, but let's look at new starters first. I made my own starter, and my first few loaves didn't turn out great. I still ate them right enough, but it took 2 weeks to make anything that actually resembled a loaf. The Make Your Own Starter guide I used said the starter would be ready within around 1 week. But this wasn't the case. After a few weeks, the bread turned out better and better. If you have a starter that's already matured, or you've had it a while and definitely more than 2 weeks, then you'll get the best results if it's active. There are a few ways to check for an active starter. When you feed your starter, you'll want an increase in size of around double. This will prove there's enough activity in the starter to give you a good rise in your bread. Some people have a much bigger rise and some smaller, but you'll soon get to know the strength of your starter. Your starter should smell pleasant and not overly sour. Think of something sweet. Bubbles on and throughout the starter shows that there's gas being produced by the fermentation process. There is some debate about the float test and if it actually works. You're supposed to drop some starter in water, and if it's ready, it will float. If you've stirred an active starter enough, or have a starter made with a heavy flour, it may not pass this test. The float test essentially checks for gas in the starter. The predictable doubling in size of a starter does the same job, but can be less misleading. If your starter's mature and it still isn't ready to bake with, here are a few tricks I use if I need to give my starter a boost. Increasing feeding frequency can help strengthen the starter. It may need more than one feed a day, but the best way to tell is to feed your starter peak to peak. And once the level starts to drop, don't leave it too long without feeding it again. This will increase the strength of your starter. By mixing in some wholemeal bread flour or some rye flour, this turbocharges your starter, providing more nutrients and enzymes, which increases the fermentation. You can easily do this to boost the strength as a one-off. Doesn't mean you need to do it constantly. Once you're consistently baking, it'll be second nature as to whether your starter is ready to bake with, and you'll get to know the optimum routine that suits your starter and schedule. It doesn't hurt to give your starter a boost now and again, especially if it's been neglected. Check out a video linked here where we will look at how to manage a starter on a day-to-day basis.